welcome to the Unfiltered Podcast with Christine, a new venture that I'm going on here to bring people in and have a chat with them about lots of different topics, I suppose. But we're going to focus this one tonight with a very special guest. I'd like to welcome Dave Elliot.
Hello, how are we?
How are you?
All good. I'm good. I love that you've got a business podcast, and the first guest you get's this guy. They're a known businessman, David Elliot.
So, Dave, obviously, me and you go back a long way.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Back to the days of housing.
Of housing.
Yes, of housing, when you were a nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, well, you're going even further back.
Oh, right, okay. No, let's just go to the house. Yes.
No, let's go further back. Let's go further back.
Okay,
So, we're going back to the days of housing. But how I met you as a person, I like to tell people, I've got this real famous friend.
Okay.
And when you start to obviously listen more to the podcast, you'll realise if you don't know who Dave is yet, you'll know who he is very soon. He's very famous. Yes. So basically, we went right back to housing where I was being verbally abused every day and had to ring you for your help.
Oh, I thought you were saying by me.
No, not by you.
Well, you deserved it, Christine, really. I think that was fair.
A lot of people would
Yes,
say
I think so.
A lot of people probably would say that, but no. So in those days, that's where we met, and you're very kind. You're actually amazing. You got me moved, didn't you? To a nice new house.
Yes.
Well,
you know what?
I think you had a contribution. I'll give you all the credit, to be fair,
No,
because there was another politician guy. We'll not maybe mention his name, but he actually was one of the ones that helped me too. But you did help.
Well, that's good, because you know what? That was something that, like, now that I'm nearly 40, I look back on it and I go, it was mad.
Are you nearly 40?
I am 40 next year. Yeah.
I thought we were the same age. I'm younger than
You're younger than me. What is you?
I'm only 38.
38. Well, I'm 39. See, so we're close enough.
What are you doing for the big?
But I don't just celebrate, just being happy that I've made it. I haven't made it yet, so we'll see. But no, I like looking back, it was mad that I had to go and deal with antisocial behaviour when I was probably like in my mid-20s, early 20s, like at the time, and like, who am I?
I think you've done a really good job, to be fair. You I give you a lot of abuse, to be fair. And I like to officially apologise for that.
No, like, to be fair, I didn't say, like, if you'd have told me then that we'd be sitting here now, I'd have gone,
nah,
not a hope.
I think I was a bit psycho-y too, wasn't it, at the time? I was like, just get rid of this person.
And I like, you did give off a vibe that you fully hated me. I think that, when they're going, I was like, oh no, it's going to be. But
I never did deep down. It was just
that's
the moment.
good.
It was the moment.
But then again, that's the thing too. Like, you sort of have to, when you were doing antisocial behaviour, you had to be empathetic to know that it is a lot of times a shit situation to be in.
Moving on to my career that I went on with, which then moved into a career of housing, being a housing officer.
Yes.
I totally felt so bad.
Good. I'm glad. That's great.
I did.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my actual God, he was only trying to help me, because then I witnessed the situations a lot myself, working with antisocial behaviour and realising that, you can only do so much. Do so much to help the situation.
That's the thing. Like, I did always think with antisocial behaviour, like, yeah, your hands were really tied, and the people you're dealing with, you're not really. A lot of people, you don't meet people like that. Like, a lot of people also do need help beyond just someone working in housing. They need, obviously, other agencies to be involved, and they need, some people I don't think actually should be in a tenancy of their own anyway. Like, they're not capable in some cases, and it's hard. Like, it is really hard. And then you want to be saying, look, we are trying to do what we can, and then something mad happens and you go, oh no. And
well, I used that story quite a lot, to be fair, when I was out, and people were going like, oh, you aren't doing anything, and I was like, listen, there's a process, and like, here's what happened to me years ago, and I was totally telling the person coming out to me from where I rented my house from that, like, he's no offence, like, he's useless, absolutely useless, he's doing nothing, and it was only then when I got into housing that I realised he was trying his best. So apologies on that, but we also then, it was quite funny, because I remember we took a phone call and I rang you and I says, is that Dave Elliot? And they were like, it is. I went, oh, we're doing a wee direct exchange here together. And that was kind of where we...
Because that was funny, actually, because I remember the time I was like, oh no, I recognise this voice. And then you were like, and I thought, oh, well, what a turnaround that is. Now you're working in housing.
Yeah.
And that was the last time we'd worked together in that capacity. And it was good, because you seemed much happier, obviously, then than you were living with someone next door to you who's a bollocks.
Yeah.
And
maybe she inspired me when you think about it, because when I went into housing,
make a difference
in the world, because I went into housing. I don't know if you know this, but a very proud moment. I started from the bottom, so I started from working in sheltered housing and worked my way up. So I was the first housing officer to make it through without a degree. Did you do a degree?
Yes.
Raging.
But
you had to pay for that. You're still paying for that.
But But my degree was obviously in criminology and criminal justice.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't
which of
actually.
course is what I needed to do what I do now,
Yeah,
Christine. So
yeah.
that was definitely not a waste of time or money, that one. But you know what? Because that's how I got started in housing. Was me
Yeah.
and mum worked in housing, and she was on holidays. I remember with her and my dad were away, and there was an open day for this place, and I in my ignorant head, I thought, wouldn't this be a great prank if I went and got a job, and then mum just appeared in the office, and I was like, hello. And then obviously it's a much bigger company than that. Like, I thought it was just one office. And then obviously I was nowhere near my mum ever, and she
Oh, so you never
retired,
seen
so I never saw her. So it was just 13 years working there, and
her? You were stuck.
and that was it. Yeah, but it was a fun enough job in parts, And now looking back that you're out of it, you're like, there were some really good times, like especially when the office was in Hill Street in Cathedral Quarter, and you pay days. You're going to the Duke of York half days.
Amazing.
They were a cracker.
I would agree with you. Like, I enjoy. I mean, people ask me would I go back
Mhm.
to housing. I'm like, well, ultimately, I'm building a business, and Brangy's on the Hill. Well, can't not mention Brangy's on the Hill is growing very fast and very rapidly. And I love it, and it's stress, but it's a different type of stress. Is what the stress. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Run the business is, because it's your livelihood, and if it goes down the tubes, you go down the tubes with it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, obviously now that I'm freelance, you can have times where you're really stressed out and you're like, oh my god, I have to do this and I have to run here and I have to go here and do this, and you're flat to the mat. You're like, I can't wait for a break. Then you have 2 quiet weeks. You're like, oh no,
What
what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I need to do.
Do you worry
something.
about that though? If you have a quiet time,
Yeah,
do you get a
sometimes.
bit? Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. Especially like now, it's coming up to Christmas. You've got bills coming in. You have presents to get. There's outgoings, and you're like, it is a bit quiet sometimes. And
Yeah.
you have to go, right, well, what's next? But then it's about, I suppose, trying to plan ahead to whenever it's quiet. You're maybe doing something like, for me, a lot of my like writing work has taken a back step whenever I was doing other things. Whereas now I have a week off near enough. I'm like, I'll get that up again and see where that goes, and just try to fill it in rather than just sitting there going, oh no, this is quiet. And it's about going to
I
get
totally
stuff,
freak. I freak out when
Yeah.
it goes quiet, yeah. But it hasn't been quiet for a long time now, I'll be honest. But
Yeah.
I do freak because I go, oh my God, I'm going back to.
Then now, obviously, I don't know much about the business side of like what it's like to do bakeries or treats or things like that. But I would imagine that in January it's a quiet time because people are all trying to be like bodybuilders and lose weight and the fit new me. And
Believe it or not, no. It's actually one of our busiest times in January. And I would have agreed with you, but
Yeah.
every year running the Isle reports and all that, it's been actually the busiest time. What we tend to find is Monday and Tuesday, everyone's on a diet. And then a Wednesday it goes out the door.
yeah.
And they're all looking the buns and the cookies and the.
See, I'm going the opposite. I'm trying to now train leading up to Christmas a bit.
Yep.
So it's because now, like, usually what happens to me, well, definitely happened last year, was I got to sort of October time and I'm like, you know what, Christmas is just around the corner, so I'm just going to not watch what I eat, and then I get a bit lazier. Next thing you know, you're like, oh no, you need, it's going to be, you need a new year, new me kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm trying to get ahead of this year so I can enjoy Christmas.
Happy days.
Try to do that.
So in terms of them, we've kind of got away from the housing. And
like I did,
well,
and like I tried so hard for so many years to do, and
Yeah.
I've succeeded.
You succeeded, yes. I think we left around the same time. Well, maybe you left first, and no, we didn't. Just to make people aware, we didn't work in the same place. I don't know.
Company, no, you were in an
Company. I was in an
association.
association. But we kind of, I think you left, and then I kind of followed suit, and I left. Did you find that? Were you scared? Were you scared when you left? Because you're leaving a steady income and.
Yes and no. So I was able to do a career break. So if it all went to pot, at least you had the safety net for a couple of years whereby you could go out. But I had a big show actually that when I was leaving, it was just the week after, and I was like, that would cover me for a few months, like.
Yeah.
And then whatever had happened with that, when we had done the venue, booked ourselves, 6 of us did the Ulster Hall in 2016.
I think I missed that one, but.
And it was great. And I worked out, when you divide all the money by 6, if you do that yourself, times 6, you'll be in for a lot of money. What I didn't account for was the costs and the promoter costs and everything else. This promoter I worked with really took a fair whack of it. So I ended up basically almost earning as much doing it divided by 6 as I did working through there. So whenever that came through, I was like, oh balls, there goes my first my plan for the first few months, which was very daunting. I was like, oh dear. So after that, I had to just really try to go out and like, it was always nice where when you were doing stand-up on the side, you had your wage coming in, and then anything you earned from stand-up was kind of like for nice things. So like saving up for going to holidays. Or obviously paying tax. Of course I pay my tax. But you're always doing that, and then you're like, oh, you could go out, get the kids clothes or
whenever I still worked in housing and was because when I started the business, I started obviously from a house, and we got a shed and baked out the back, and life was great, and money was rolling in, and I was like, I'm meant to, like, this is great. And then when I decided to go into the world of getting a unit and building a business that wee bit more, I was like, I'm broke.
But then don't they always say, if like the start of it, if you can see it through
5 years is there normally,
then it's sort of
we're near 5 years.
See, so and how have you found the stress of it? Do you still have, or is it different?
Terrible. It's hard. I'm not. There's no. This is mainly what the podcast about as well, is being so open and real in business, and telling people, especially people who want to start up in business or want to leave their main jobs, to making sure they realise just how hard it is. And so I get a lot like, you're a millionaire, you're driving a BM, you're minted, and I'm like, am I? No. It's
that is a funny thing that people have these perceptions.
Yeah.
Like you're this or you're that. I'm like, no.
Well, you see, you're famous as well.
But
so
I that makes me cringe, but I'm not in any way.
Well, I mean, it's coming to being, and say famous. We recently seen you on our screens, and I'm sure everybody watching will recognise you as otherwise known as
Brendan and Blue Lights. Yeah, but even so, like that's a great thing to be part of, and I absolutely love being in it. But again, that's in like this is the thing with thinking about work. It's like, I always, like, I'm married to a nurse, so I put things into terms like, so what I'd be earning for a month doing my job, or what she would earn for like an 8-hour shift working on a ward, and I go, for what I do, it's much easier than that. So if I'm doing stand up, and you're doing like a 20-minute set somewhere, and it's a couple £100, you're like, that's what you would have to do, like what I would have to do in my old job to earn that was probably a few days work, and you're going, like, why am I whinging about going to do? And then there are some days where I have to catch myself on, because I'm like, oh, fuck, I have to do this, like, I'll be arsed. I have to drive here, I have to do that. You can't get yourself up, and it is a problem when you're trying to make people laugh if you're in a stinker mood, and you have to go on yourself to be like, and then, but again, I'm so grateful to be doing that as a job. I'm so grateful to be able to do that, and be able to, and again, that was my only ever ambition that I ever had, and I actually need to now start thinking of something else, otherwise I'm just going to be going.
Well, you have
circles.
The podcast, so you have SLY Guy podcast.
Yeah, SLY Guy is great, but to me it's not like you couldn't live on the one thing, I don't think, anymore. Like, probably could have certain podcasts now, but like with the stand up is like you have to do a few things. So you have to, whether it's podcasting, stand up, you take the odd acting gig if you're lucky enough to get it, and other bits and bobs too, like radio. I love doing radio as well, if I get the chance to do that.
Radio?
So we do a bit of radio.
That's really bad. Apologies that I didn't know.
That's okay. Listen,
listen to a lot of radio, to be honest.
But I know, but it's just a variation of things, and knowing what you're kind of what you're wanting to do. But again, I always look at it and go, right, what. Like, my goal was always to leave work. That was always my one goal.
So you always had that goal?
Yeah.
Like, you...
Once I started doing comedy, I was like,
And when did you start doing comedy?
You know what? I find some people really weird in this world, because they'd be like, I started doing comedy on the 17th of January in the year 2005. And I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know the exact
Maybe just from
date.
you were a kid.
But no, I started, I was in a sketch group. That's how I started. Okay. I think it must have been about 2009 or 10. And then from I started doing that, I was like, this is class fun. Like, I love doing it. And that was the thing. I was like, I actually love doing this. This is really good fun. And then that's kind of, whenever the group, there ended up just being too many of us in the group, and everyone wanted to do different things, and we all split up. And then...
So were you in like pantomimes and all at Christmas? Not really.
No, not even, because I went to a school where there wasn't, like, it was, my school was very like, like doctors and lawyers trained to do this, and like, I'm just the guy having, like, just hanging about, like, not knowing what I want to do.
Famous golf players and all coming out of that, wasn't there?
But then even so, Rory McIlroy, I went to Sullivan in Hollywood, and Rory McIlroy went there, and like, there's stories about him being like falling out with the careers teacher, because she was like, well, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, go be a golfer. And she's like, no, you need to pick something else. That's never going to happen, and getting detentions and all for that. So it's like, you just, and I think it's mental to know what you want to be when you're in school.
But that's what I'm going to say. Sometimes I always was going to be a nurse. I was going to be a nurse. And then obviously I did do a nursing course. Well, it wasn't like a degree. As such, I kind of avoid these degrees. It was an access course, and I done okay, and then I got an interview for McGee and got accepted, but then I didn't get the marks, so I got booted out again. So that was what led me into housing. I said, what am I going to do now? Because I never had a career as such, and I don't think you do at that age.
No. But like, unless you do, like, unless you're like, I want to be a doctor, or
Yeah.
I want to be a nurse, or I want to be like an accountant.
Yeah.
Very early. I just wanted to take the piss, I think, and like just have fun, and that was never
That's what life's
really
about, fun.
achievable, and it was like, how do you ever do that? And there was, never anything in school that was pushed towards that. Like, you played your sports really, and that was about it, or so when I got the opportunity to do that, I was like, this is fucking great crack, like. And then met a few guys like Shane and Mickey and Sean Hegarty early doors, and they were like, you should do stand up, and I did, and it was not good.
Oh, I thought you were great. I came to see you. Went to the shows in Lavery.
At the start, Christine.
No, come on. I thought you were good.
At the beginning,
I had a few beers. I mean, like, but
no, but nowadays I'm a consummate professional now. I'll have but in the early days I was grim.
But that's how. Like, listen, it's like you could say that about my bakes. Whenever I go back and look at what I baked 5 years ago, I go, oh my god, that off that page, that's terrible looking. It's about as you're growing, things start improving. So I actually think our tray bakes look absolutely I was going to say horrendous, not horrendous. They look absolutely amazing now.
Your bakes are everywhere now. Like, I'm seeing them all over the place. And
do you know how many places they're in? So when I interview people, I really put them on the spot.
Your eyes really flared. Do you know where?
Yeah. I do that in an interview. When I'm interviewing people, I'll go, how many places do we supply? And I'll be like, oh God, I don't know. I said, say if you get it wrong. And they're like, oh, 30.
Hold on, let me have a guess.
So I'm going to ask you, as if I'm interviewing, how many places do you think Brownie's done?
73.
Dave, catch yourself on.
What is it?
Double now. I'm doing more than double. It's 150.
Well, there you go. That's impressive.
Isn't it?
Was it 73 at one point?
It still shows on my website as 70. Did you do a bit of research?
Nope. That is good though. They'd be close to a few.
Well, you were. A lot of people do come in with the 70, 90 mark, and then when you tell them 150, the near fall off the seat. Have you not had them yet? Like, I've been trying to get you to try these.
You've been trying to get me to try them, but then every time you get me to try them, I'm always trying to be healthy, but then I always fall back. You need to get me when I'm just about to fall off the wagon, and then that's when.
What's your go-to? Would it be like brownies, cookies, caramel?
Oh, I like a caramel square.
You do like a caramel?
That's now. My mum has a friend, Maggie. Shout out to Maggie, who makes what, in my opinion, are the best caramel squares. Oh. Now, again, I always compare every caramel square to Maggie's caramel squares, and like, I get her caramel squares for Christmas every year from when I was a kid. She lives over in England, brings them over along with her Christmas kids.
How does she make her caramel? Do you know?
I've no idea, but it's good and thick. Like, to me, I think you need for a good caramel square, in my opinion, I think you need to mess up the split. You think butter. you want to have the most caramel, and then next biggest part's the chocolate, and the third.
Have you ever had a caramel square where I take a picture one the other day where it's like that's the base, and then there's that?
Yeah, I can't be having that. I feel totally spoofed if I get that.
Our caramel's very popular. Just to get a wee mention in there,
I like a carmelita as well.
Butter. Oh, we'd make beautiful carmelita.
I like a carmelita.
I don't know if I put a carmelita in the box for you later, but
no.
But
do you know what the awkward thing is? I'm going to do Lavery's Comedy Club after this, and I'm going to have to leave these buns in the car to bring them home to my kids rather than the comedians, because they will just eat them all.
Here I have a spare box.
Listen, I'll take a spare box to Lavery's.
I'd love to pass them on to them and
let them try.
There's a few people actually are waiting to get buns. So Stephen Nolan's waiting to get them. I met him the other week, and he's waiting to get a box of buns. I said I'd deliver them down to him, whilst also giving him a bit of abuse.
But Stephen's very lean these days. He's looking
He is. Well, he was in getting salad,
good.
To be fair. He said, give me my usual, and then I give him hell's abuse about, I says to him, where do you be? Where do I deliver these buns to? And he says, well, BBC Blackstaff. Well, what time do you be there? Well, 9 o'clock.
What you need to do, Stephen is a very secretive man, so you don't want to give away his location.
Oh, really?
Unless, because people go down, sometimes people are sliding Stephen, it's not out of pocket, like.
Right.
So you don't want to announce where he's going to be at what time.
Well, I said to him, you don't work very much hours in the day, and he got stuck into me in the middle of Subway. He literally lit on me.
You don't want to say that to Stephen.
Like, I work so hard in the background, and I'm
like, there's nobody's work harder than Stephen.
I was in bad form that day.
You were in bad form?
I was in bad form.
I would like to see you in bad form, going head to head with Stephen Nolan in bad form. That would be a challenge to see if that would be a good. Yeah, but you know what? He doesn't really do podcasts, so he would be a good.
Maybe he would with me. Like, you never know. He might.
Then even sometimes if we're doing radio, we have to do a handover with them, because sometimes I fill in on the Video and Kate show in the mornings.
Right. Okay.
And.
Do you?
Yeah,
sometimes. Hey, listen to big shout out to Glenn Pivas, because he's my biggest supporter. I do listen to Glenn Pivas. That's the other side, isn't it? That's Cool FM.
Oh, Cool FM. Why? You know what? I don't.
Downtown. Sorry to be precise. Downtown.
No, I like a big shout out to the Radio Ulster and also Q Radio, my friends over there. But yeah, not down.
Well, not Glenn Phillips.
Downtown,
Glenn
yeah,
Phillips
just-
would have done the music. Now I could be telling lies here, and Glenn's like, Chrissy, no, it didn't. But he definitely done the music at something at the ice bowl. Maybe it was the time you went up. But did you ever go ice skating?
No, I went
You're missing out here, like.
and watched
Oh,
people go because I couldn't go on ice skates because I don't have very good balance.
okay.
And then I always had a fear that if I had fallen, someone would cut my throat.
Have you
That would be
took the kids ice skating since?
No.
No.
Because then again, that thing could happen. You could end up.
Oh,
getting
you're
yourself
watching
cut.
the thing that happened recently. I know.
Mhm.
No.
But I've just thought about. I am very. You might know this about me. I'm very health and safety conscious.
Are you?
I'm very I always imagine what the worst thing that can happen and fear that'll happen. So try to take. It's probably too many steps to stop it from happening.
That's a wee bit like anxiety, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose, but I don't know whether this is just my imagination or other people do this too, but I vividly picture the outcome of something happening.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I can't have that because that's awful. Like if my kids are at the edge of something, don't go there. And then in my head, I see them falling and then it gives me absolute,
Yeah.
So I can see the worst, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just wouldn't let them anywhere. Anything that could potentially end up happening,
You don't let them near.
no.
Fair enough. You're
Then
being
I
a safe daddy, aren't you?
But then I have to let them do other things like play and stuff.
Kind of have to let the
Go
string go a wee
parking.
bit because then when they bring so I have a wee 5-year-old as well. We miss Zoe. I have Zoe and I have Caitlin, 19. Can you believe she's 19? I think you met her
Yeah.
years ago.
Yes.
She's studying to be a paramedic.
She actually came into the room one day and she was like, listen, mister, my mum's not this much of a bitch usually, I swear. She's just caught her on a bad day. I'm like,
Yeah, I
So-
think she was like 5 then, Dave.
yeah, well, she knew the score early doors.
Yeah, she's studying to be a paramedic. So, why I'm telling you, I don't know, but I thought you'd like to know that information.
This
And
is what it's about, find out
But
about
Zoe
new
the
things.
5-year-old, Zoe the 5-year-old, she's nuts.
Mhm.
Generation's mad. She
Yeah.
is mad. My Caitlin was very quiet. This one, Zoe would, she would go into a shop with me and tell the shop woman, that my mum had done this or done that or whatever. Like, should get you hung. Are your kids like that?
The two, the big one who is 8 coming, she is like a bit sneaky. In fairness, like she is normally quite prim and proper and would be quite shy and all, but then sometimes you see her doing stuff to the 5-year-old and you're like, you're wee.
Couldn't really imagine you being like this strict daddy though,
No, I'm
because with the whole comedy side of it, I would say you'd be quite soft.
yeah, no, I am, but then I do I have cross shout. You know what I mean? I don't use
face,
that
yeah,
very
it's-
much. Like if I use the cross voice, I'll almost say to Catherine, "I'm like, I'm going to use cross voice here." I'll be like, and you're like,
Step out of the room.
but no, they're normally all right. But it's just the bicker, and I can't deal with the bickering all the
Fight.
time, fighting, and then like you catch them doing wee sly things, like moving their seats. Another one's fingers are between them and trying to do that. I'm like, just do wee dick, stop it.
What age is it?
The wee one's 5, just turned
So
5.
same
Like so, she's in P1,
Mm-hmm.
and she's hilarious. Like the wee one is the funniest person.
Yeah.
I know, like she'll just say stuff and she gets it, like she knows she's doing stuff that is
Yeah.
funny. Like
Oh, rightly.
yeah, 2 girls and can't wait for them to get older and meet boys.
That's what I was going to say. They were
brilliant,
bringing
yeah.
boyfriends home and all. How do you feel about that?
Nah, not at my house. Bad boys, that's kind of the. I mean, that's the movie I'm going for. Not that I want them to bring bad boys home, and like if they do bring bad boys, I'm not going to go. Oh,
You might get
are you a
really
bad
good
boy?
one, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you might get a really good one. So I was sitting today and my phone, there was a message on my phone. It was my Caitlin, as I said to you. She's over studying and being a paramedic. I'm just going to keep shouting that out. She says, I never talk about it. It's always Brownies in the hills. So she's doing well, and her boyfriend texts and says, Christine, would you mind tomorrow if I just come up for dinner and say, I haven't seen Daniel since she went to uni. And I was like, well, who's making the dinner, Daniel? So I thought, God help him. Like,
Yeah.
he just misses us, He obviously he's normally up to see Caitlin.
Yeah.
Caitlин's not there, so he wants to come and see us. I thought that was really nice,
Nice,
isn't
yeah.
it? Like, that's the type of fella you want.
Did
for
you
your
like
girl.
him from the start?
Oh, he's all right. Like, he's a bit quiet, to be
Yeah.
honest, But no, he's all right. He calls me Pink. So he'll say, here, Christine, when I'm all dolled up to go out, you go, you look like Pink. The night and I'd
Stop
say,
it.
Daniel. And he'd be like, so I like him for that. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he's a good kid. So yeah, you've left the big career and you are now famous in Blue Lights.
Yeah, well, in 3
Working
episodes.
alongside.
In 3 episodes over 3 seasons. So
It's amazing.
yeah.
And I
But
think
no, I will say BAFTA winner. I will claim that. I'll
Yes.
take that. Yeah, because they didn't win a BAFTA until season 2, which was when I.
did you go to the BAFTA Awards?
Wasn't invited.
No.
But yeah, I would have gone if I was, but no.
Did you get to hold the what is
The
that? A
trophy?
Yeah.
No, but I would assume they're going to send me a copy from my own office, but it's not right.
So we got a wee bit further on then with you because our brownies got a wee picture beside the BAFTA.
Oh right, okay. So your actual brownies did,
Actual brownies.
and not you.
We
just
had
the-
no, not me. Well, no. I tried to push my way into the set. So Shan Brooks, shout out to Shan Brooks, ordered brownies off us, and for the last day.
Oh, was that where she got the brownies? She was like, I got these brownies locally and they're stinking. I was that year. No, I'm just joking.
No, you're not right. We were going. Well, she actually texted me. She texted me after and said they were absolutely unreal. So she got some brownies from us, and we so I tried to sneak my way in at Massey. It was on Massey Avenue.
Yes.
Am I allowed to say that?
You're just giving everything away here, Christine, everywhere.
I know. I like rubber gobbler. And so yeah, we took the brownies round, and I tried to get this meter, but no chance.
No.
So I'm going to try this year or next year if I see her. I'm going to try.
Well, like that's
meter
the real litmus test to see
seems
if the brownies are good.
Yeah.
You know,
if she comes back.
If she's like, yeah, no, if she just ghosts you, you'll be like, oh no, it's this.
I'll just make them for free, but I'll just be like, because I think I charged her for those ones. So I didn't really know who she was, if I'm being honest. I'm so sorry for that, Shan, because it was just, I don't know actors' names and actresses' names. And then obviously I sing the follow and she had, oh my God, that's Shan Brooks from Blue Lights. So we were in the paper for that now. We were approached by Belfast Telegraph
to
do a wee write up because we had, and I think they thought we had an actual part in the, and then they were quite disappointed when they rang me, and I says, no, I just deliver brownies.
Yeah. Well, then maybe that could be the next. You could be featured, get your Brandon in it as one of those.
Or Brandon was in the pictures, was
but in the actual show.
Oh, in the show.
There's going to be a season 4.
What about the 15s? Because there was a whole thing about. I'd love to know who made their 15s for. Do you remember that episode?
Yes, that was one of the first ones, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they were eating the 15s. I was like, who made them?
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of my competitors. Who knows?
You know what? It's probably the prop department. It's probably just made for that. I wasn't even.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, because I had eat something once before in a short film that I did, and it was a big fry. But we had to do so many takes. It was so stinking and so cold, and I still had to eat the cold beans. So
did you?
It's probably 15's probably not even that good.
You done really well in that. Like I actually only. I'm not going to say I only watched it for you, Dave, right? Because that'll give you a really big head, you know, and you'll be like, hi, yeah. But no, but actually, I looked forward to seeing it. Because I knew you were in it, and I was like, you know, and a lot of people I talk to now, you know, and you do have a fan club. You might not think you do, but you really do. I've one fella that follows me on TikTok. We're very friendly, Pete, and he was like, Christine, I'm going to break the door down, and I know you're doing a podcast with Dave. That man's a legend.
Does he know? Does he know now?
No, I didn't tell him.
Okay.
But I did say I would get a wee picture for him of me and you, which is probably...
Yeah, it's like, listen, I know you like him, but you're not going to do. But here's a photo of me on him anyway. Yeah. Perfect.
And he says, "Will I get your autograph?" And I says, "Sure." So, like, you know, this guy thinks you're great. And then I invited him. I said, "Well, here, Dave's still doing some shows down, and are you doing those comedy shows every week in Lavery's or?"
I mean, Lavery's fairly rarely enough. I would say Lavery's would be like would be my home club. Like if we had a local club that I love playing, Lavery's would be the one. Like
so, I said we would go down someday. Yeah. I said to him, "Look, I'll take you to a show," but he's not here Monday to Friday, and I was like, "Oh, we can't do that then."
Yeah, where does he go, or where does he be?
He works Monday to Friday, you see, but he works over in sea, so.
In the sea?
No, well, not in the sea, like over the sea.
All right, over the sea. I think he works in the sea.
So, I want to bring him down to see you, but I would actually love to come and see you one of your shows because I haven't got a big pint in Lavery's, and I haven't. And so, who else is on tonight?
Honestly, I don't really know because I just haven't looked. But
so do you just lie down there and like?
Yeah, so I just
flow
and see, but like I have to try new stuff tonight, so. It could be great. It could be whack.
Right, okay.
You just have to see.
Keep an eye. Well, not be able to keep an eye because they don't record that. Do they?
They do, but they don't always put it out. You know, so they only clip it up if you want. But that's actually amazing to have because if you are trying new stuff, you can watch back and see what worked and what didn't. And
so tell me this. See, whenever obviously you did leave housing and go into being a comedian.
Yes.
Full time. Did you gain any guidance or anything from anybody, or did you have any support? Who's your support? Was it your wife? Mainly,
her and my parents. What was funny was that's always been something I've wanted to do, and I would have always gone, I think I'm going to leave my work and do this full time, and they'd maybe have been like, well, maybe I'd give it a wee while and see, and then eventually that started to change from maybe until I got to the point where I was like, I think you should, and then at that point I'm like, that gives you the belief in yourself to do it, you know. But again, I would be very like, I'm never like I've done a good job there. I'm always like, I could have been better. I'm very hard on myself in that respect. And I'm always like looking to be hard on myself. So I'm always the hardest person on me anyway. So I think whenever it was time to go, there was a period of time where the work my like notice and that was great because my bosses and all were like, well, we're just going to have to take a bit of work off you because I know you're not going to do it for these next 2 weeks. I'm like, correct.
That was very supportive.
It was brilliant because, but then there's accounts of people who are paying rent, and if I'm not doing what I need to do, it's going to be all bossed up.
Yeah.
So those last few weeks were great. Now, what was sad?
Was this when you handed your notice in?
Yeah. So because I was only doing a career break.
Oh yes.
It was like it was great. So that was a big thing to know. Like that gave me the confidence to be like, right, I have to either make it in these 2 years or else. But even by the end of the 2 years, I wouldn't have gone back. I would have maybe like, and I still think it like that you shouldn't. I think there's a real stigma around people these days that if you go full time at something, whatever it may be, a passion or whatever, if you end up going to another job, that's some kind of failure. And I think that mindset is totally wrong, because you could end up like, take the pandemic for example. Like a lot of people who, like, I was lucky enough that I was going to leave and didn't, and then the work, I was very grateful of still having that work during that time. But like,
why? Because if you had left, then
see, if I had left, I would have taken on whatever job I had to pay the bills, and you know, still done the stuff on the side and still hope for it. But I think nowadays people are like, oh, like it's almost they want to go, yeah. But I don't think you should criticize people for trying. You know, if they try something and they do it, great. And if it succeeds, and if it doesn't, maybe like if I was doing comedy and I needed to take on another job to pay the bills for a bit, I would do that until maybe I didn't need to again, you know. But I think like that's one thing I do find, and I don't know whether it's a Northern Irish thing, but we seem to celebrate a lot of people's failures more than we do the successes.
To jump on that first,
you know,
though, whenever somebody fails. And
you know, and I think like the majority of things, like life's like up and down. Like there's times you might need to do something else, you might need to, but that's grand. It's all part of, you know.
No, you're never a failure,
living,
because you know what, as I say, you can try it, and if it doesn't work, you know, I could have tried brownies, and when I decided to take it over the next line or level or whatever you want to say, it might not have went where it has today. I'm very lucky that it has, and it's continuing to grow and it's continuing doing really well. But I would never sing myself as a failure. But that's where I kind of bring it round it, and that's why I asked you, did you have good support?
My parents and my wife have been great,
you
know, but equally so, they'll tell me, like, they won't let me get too big for my britches either. Like they'll be very, you know, cut me down like that, but they are very supportive. And
that's amazing.
And my mum is like, she thinks she's like super, but you can tell on her face. So like, you know, is this okay? She'll be like, yeah, and you're like, no, I can tell it's not. So
it's not.
You know, but they're my biggest supporters too. Like, and
that makes a world of difference, doesn't it, when you have that?
It does, but then as well, I think you need to, like at the same time, like if I was just sitting about the house scratching myself. And
say what you want here, you know, Unfiltered Podcast, say it how it is.
They'd be like, any chance you're going to do something or look for a bit of work. And again, that's one thing that I would always say, that like and I think it works across any business or any career, like don't worry about getting a no. Ask the question. And if like the amount of times I've even like there recently, I was like, are there any like spots coming up for a gig? You might don't want to do this. Still ask, because people might know in your head. Like I think I'd written this in my notes one day. I was like walking the dog, and I'd read it about 3 weeks later, and I was like, what's going on in my mind there? But I wrote, nobody cares about you. And I was like, oh, well, that's deep. But what I mean is, in a way that we think people are thinking about us and talking about us way more than they are. So do what you need to do. Knowing that nobody really cares that much. It's what you're doing, what's right for you and what's right for your family, and you're sort of do that, you know.
Do it for you,
and ask for stuff. And like sometimes people might be like if they don't even know you want to do something, you know, like so say like if I sent an email to somebody being like, any work coming here, or would you like to do this, and they were like, oh, we've nothing at the minute, but we didn't know you were interested in doing that. If some, you know, an opportunity comes in, we'll give you an idea, and that might be something you can do down the line. Like I've pitched stuff before that I know maybe isn't for one person, but it might work for them. And I just think like a lot of times if you don't ask, you don't get. I think, you know, sometimes you need to do that. And I think with any business, don't be afraid of the no's. Like the word, like if you're in a position where you're lucky enough to be no worse off, than you are, go for it. And the only thing you can do is that can only
and build it too. It's a wee bit like, I mean, I didn't go obviously leave my job and go boom, I'm in Burnies. I built it, you know, and then took a few months to decide if I was gonna go into a career in this or what I was going to do. So it's would you, if someone said to you, you know, like your mate or Sean, right, like I'm thinking of leaving my job, and they're in like a good enough job and whatever, I'm thinking leave my job, I'm going to start this business, what do you think I should do? Like what would you tell them to go for it? Like would that be your thoughts on it?
I would say like if it's the right thing, you know, like I have a mate who is an accountant by trade, and he's set up his own beer company. Amazing. And it has been tough in part for him. And it's beer. Do you know what? This is the thing too. See if you have a product, if it's good, it'll do fine. Like, well,
it's about believing in your own product. I'm focusing a lot on that at the moment as well. You know, where we have people obviously out there naturally healthy competition, and we have competitions not so healthy. So
why don't you employ somebody to be like just?
I feel I need to do that. I feel I need
Be
to
a
do
hype
that.
man.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
someone just to sit in the office and go, "You are amazing, Christine. You are unreal. Oh, fantastic." You know, I miss that.
Yeah.
I got that in my last job.
Well, I never
But
got
it
that in
must,
any
oh,
job
did you
ever.
not?
No,
Like, you
no,
must have
no.
been like as good as
Yeah.
me as a housing officer then. I must obviously been a bit better than you.
But you know, I think people like I had a boss once. I remember was like she knew I'd all like I obviously had other interests like
Yeah.
but she was always dicky about it.
Aye.
You know, she was like, "Oh, this doesn't pay your wage and all, and this doesn't remember that." And I'm like, "I never said did. I think I've never,
Yeah.
you know." And then I remember once I got a car, I paid off a car with money from gigging and stuff. And she's like, "Where'd you get that?" And I was like, "Oh, don't worry, it wasn't this job. It's fine." And her face, and yes, get up. Yeah.
But you know the thing about it, so the reason I did jump as well, and if anybody was watching and thinking of making that jump, and this could be the reason too, is that I worked so hard to get where I did in housing. I wanted to go higher again, and my face just wasn't fitting to get higher. And I thought, you know, I need to go somewhere where I can have a limit to how big I want to go. So that was why, you know.
So obviously, there's a difference between baking and housing. So was there a point where you were like, just like, were you baking like for fun?
Well, no, it's
initially,
kind of
or-
if in all honesty, whenever COVID came about, I'd had a baby and I was a wee bit bored. Like, you know, I couldn't sit in the house all day with a baby. Like, it's not me.
Yeah.
I love
You know,
kids
you
and all.
can sell babies. You can sell them online. Like there's a marketplace for them.
You never sell my Zoe. If you ever meet her, you'd see why she's that. But yeah. So well, maybe you could actually, because she has that crazy at times. But so we decided that I decided then to bake for my friends. I felt really sorry for them in the house with their kids all the time. Oh, it did. My heart went out to them.
But was there a point where you're like, "Oh, these are great," or did people be like, "Fuck, these are delicious"? Or
No, well, I just brought them back and I says to David, I says, and Caitlin, try them. What do you think? And they says, "God, they're lovely." And I said, "Yeah, I could sell them." And they were like, "Sell them more." And I says, "Well, it's around the estate."
Yeah.
You know, sell them to your granny. And yeah, so I started a wee Facebook page off and oh my God, like it just took off. And that's why it's called, people will be like, "Why is it called Brangies on the Hill?" And so when we were in Dundonald, in the shop in Dundonald, was like, "Is that because of Stormont?" And I'm like, "No, it's Seymour Hill. Good, I'll Seymour Hill now. Come on, that's where it's from." So yeah, and I thought about changing the name now and again, but I like the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well known. Do you ever see it in shops, do you, when you're out?
Yes.
Do you?
I do.
Fair.
But I haven't yet because this is the thing. I think you've got to let me try it first, don't you? You've always been saying you're going to give me some freebies. So
We do.
I'm frugal now too. Well, I'm not actually. I'm awful with money. Like that's one thing I will say, but I need to be more frugal. But what is your like? So if you were to say this is like, say you had, I don't know, Paul Hollywood, and you're going to showcase for him.
Here, but he's dead sexy. I don't watch that British Bake Off, but I watch it for him.
Yeah, well, he is. He is a
Silver
sexy
Fox,
guy. Like he's got those eyes, that handshake. Whoa.
Yeah, oh wow.
But
Yeah.
that sounded very like I was very.
You
into
look
it,
like you'd love to get a handshake.
Listen. But it's not a handshake. But he, I've seen the.
I realised after I said that was a bit dodgy.
But like, if he was like, right, this is going to change your life. What's the bun you're giving him that you're like, this is, I bet.
What would I give him?
What's your best
seller?
Yeah,
Best-
no. What do you think is the best bun? You're like, that's the tastiest. That's nice.
Honestly, Biscoff Caramel Square. But you're going to ask, why is your caramel so good? Because we go through 125 kg of butter a week.
So do I. At home, that's just my dad. Yeah.
No, it's made with pure butter. Yeah. That's the difference in our caramel. So I'd probably say, and I'm not slagging Maggie here, but I would say Maggie's is probably out of a tin of condensed milk tin. I'm sorry, but come on, you know, that's how you make a caramel square normally. We make ours with homemade caramel. That's what we like, to be different and unique. We are so different and unique in everything we do.
Well, I'll be the judge of it, literally.
Oh God, I'm actually quite nervous now because you're going to go Maggie's are nicer.
But you know what? Listen, hers are the best.
Well, I think
I do. I've had some. Listen, this is the thing. I think sometimes, do you ever in your own head give yourself a position that doesn't exist? Like I in my head, I'm like, I feel like my opinion on baked goods matters more. Like I'll go around coffee shops and judge all the different ones and be like, well, I'll go back here. These like Ginger and Berry and Bagger have great tray bakes. Like they go there. Where else do we get great ones? In Copeland Distillery Cafe and Donny D doing nice caramelitas. So I like to go around in my mind. And I said to Catherine, it would be a dream for me to one day have my own little book that I've just judged the best tray bakes.
Oh, that's a really good idea. Would you do that?
But then people go, who's this big fat idiot going around deciding these judges?
My big idea is, so you know where they have all these award ceremonies out there, right? And it's like, oh, best business of the year and best bakery of the year. I don't have them because I know I'm the best, so I don't need to. But I would love to do it, like an award ceremony, but not where people are winning awards for being the best, because I just want to tell everybody they're amazing, and everybody who's in business is amazing, because everybody's, you know.
Yeah.
I would love to do something.
But then
like
some
that.
people suck.
I know.
And you have
Give them a
to.
wee boost.
But you know, like we live in a world now where like my kids go to sports day and they don't win medals. Like, how do you know they're any good at anything? You need to know.
But you don't tell them, like, you don't say, listen, you've done really bad out there on that pitch.
Oh, absolutely do.
Oh, Dave.
Don't them going out in the public and being shit and people being like, oh, I'm shit. Like, aren't they great? You're like, no, it's terrible. It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh, well, we could have some. So would you be the main speaker at it? Like, I could get you to be the, what would you call it? The host?
But, well, if there was an awards, but awards can be awkward too, like the host. So sometimes they're like, you know, it's not a dream job always for a comedian. But like awards, like they can be good, but then sometimes there's touches of nepotism there too. Like people in spot, you just.
But
like,
you can put on a real serious face. Like, I mean, when you come in here tonight, I was like, well, Dave's wild serious for my last, remember?
I'm very serious for brownies. See when brownies come in, I take brownies serious.
I have a whole crate of stuff out there.
So I'll be very serious with the brownies.
And you're going to take them with you later on then too? At your...
Yes, I will. I'll let some of the comedians try them and see.
Would you pass on my, like, get them to follow me on
Yeah.
Instagram? And
Do you have a business card with it?
I don't know. I might have one in my bag, but they just need to follow me on all my socials.
Yeah, but then the thing about that is, right, if people do follow you on your socials, like Brownies of the Hill, and then you unfollow them, and then they unfollow you, that's awkward. Because you unfollow me, and then I unfollowed you back out of spite. So,
but we also have like a...
because that's how I'm motivated.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Hurt.
So do you...
Unfollow.
So if
if you follow me, I would follow you back, yeah.
Yeah, but if I unfollowed you, would you unfollow me?
Yeah, because you did, and I did.
But how would you know I unfollowed you?
Because...
Can you look that up?
No, because whenever you put something up, and I was like, oh, that looks nice, I went on to see it, and I was like, you don't even follow me, what a bitch.
What, to me?
Yeah.
Did I not follow you?
You did, but then you unfollowed me somehow.
No,
Yeah.
Dave, I would never follow you.
So
We're
yeah.
just mates.
Well, that's what I thought. So if you follow me again, I'll follow you
So
back.
did you unfollow me?
Of course.
Dave.
Because I thought, listen, fight fire with fire.
Oh,
Yeah.
was this on Sly Guy or was this...
No, this was on my own Instagram, yeah.
Ox, that hasn't been me. I know who's done that now, and I will not mention names, but I know who. Was this maybe about a year and a half ago?
I don't know precisely.
Oh, you need to think back, honestly. I know who done that. I will follow you straight back.
Good, is it
Also,
back?
we've got Sly Guy on that as well. No?
Well, maybe because we only have the producers that they have a TikTok page because they're big TikTok guys. So they.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That wasn't me. I'm not going to take this, but I don't unfollow anybody.
I like that. You know what? See, if it was, I like that you have to
I'm
take
very
responsibility for that. That's good. Because it's me, I'm like,
no, you probably spoke and be like,
that's fine.
No, it's very important to be accountable, and again in business as well. It's saying, and I teach my staff as well. I'm like, say if you've done something wrong, come and tell me. I'll take that so much better than you spoofing and then me finding out about it down the line.
But you know what I think a lot of people do? I think a lot of people be like, listen, I'm very accountable. I like to come and tell me anything, and then when people come and tell, like if people come and tell me stuff, I'd be like, well, fuck off. You know, it's like, wait. Like, why?
No, they just see the rage. You know, like them eyes earlier on, like the eyes coming up, and going like, oh, you know. But I'm actually a really nice boss. Like I always explained I was a really nice housing officer too. My tenants love me, like. No, because I keep it real. We'll come back to this. I'm all about keeping it real in life, so I don't bullshit. I said how it is, and people like it. They don't like it. That's really their problem, not mine. But yeah, about keeping it real in life. Yeah, so important to keep it real, and yeah.
And you've done really good branding there because you've said. Is this called Keeping It Real or
no, this is called the Unfiltered Podcast. But maybe we should... Well,
you should have a cup of coffee with the buns then, shouldn't you?
I thought you were going to offer the coffee. Sorry about that.
No, look, it's too late in the night for a coffee now. I'll never sleep.
Yeah, well, we'll make sure next time you come on again and talk to us.
And who, like, so what are, like, I like to now just inflate my own ego a wee bit here. So what other businessmen other than myself or businesswomen do you have on? Or business them? I mean, it's 2025. You could have, but you don't have to gender anything.
You're very privileged to be our first guest. Because straight away I said, I need Dave Elliot here. I need him here. He's like, oh,
and I think more people need to think like that, Chris.
They do, and I'll make sure I put your name out there. But about you mean?
Just because like any work coming up, we need David.
Yeah,
that's what we want.
Yeah, no, any my restaurants or not so much maybe restaurants, but wherever they do gigs that are looking at a comedian for the night, then you need to get Dave Elliot. Okay, so I'm saying that now for you. Okay, I'm letting them know.
That's good. But do you have other people, other business owners?
I've contacted a few other ones. So I know Gemma Austin has agreed to come on with me at some point. So do you know Gemma? You own Peculiar Tea.
Yes, I do know.
Sure, it's Mamo Batassery. So in a way, like you're inviting another baker on, but Gemma's stuff is completely on a different league.
Is there bacon beef? Like, is there?
Is there
like,
what?
Would you
no,
bakers be other bakers?
Yeah,
be all like,
there's no quite line there is, but that's with other.
Do you have somebody like now? Is this open beef, or do you just have like it's a motivation for you to be like, I want to just
motivation?
Yeah. Are there any other places out there you're like, I want to trump them? Because there are comedians out there that I'm like, you know what, I'd love to do better.
Do you not believe you're already doing better?
Well, that's one thing that's given me a lot of joy in life, is I just compare myself to myself now, because if you compare yourself to anybody else, you'll just batter your mental health. Like, so you need to just focus on that.
No, I believe that
a wee bit of, like, you do like to see yourself doing better than others sometimes, right?
you have to remember, if you, again, it just comes back to, if you believe in yourself, I don't give a hoot what. I know my product's good, I know it's pushing out there, I know it's different, it's unique, you know, and that's what I continue
What's
to strive
the
for.
USP?
The unique selling point is caramel.
Right, okay. But what I would say to you too is, like, sometimes in business, I'm not a business mentor. Sometimes in business,
Get you, on this,
you gotta keep secrets. You can't let them know what your secret sauce is.
oh no, they
like,
don't know. They'll never know how we make it.
Look at
So
the Colonel.
never
Look at the
know.
Colonel. He died.
Sure
Are
that.
there any wee bakers that come in and you're like, they're going to go and take all my secrets? And
Oh, I used to be so paranoid about that. I used to go mad, like the eyes came out. Do you remember the eyes were all like, oh my God, see it? But see now, I'm just like, listen, I know how hard it's been to get my business to where it's at today, nearly 5 years down the line. So if someone wants to come in, steal all our recipes and go and try and replicate that, is that the right word? Replicate?
Yeah, we can just kill them. Like,
let them do it, because it's good luck. Good luck, because it's extremely tough business to be in. I think I might have chose the wrong business to go into.
well, I mean, you're doing rightly, like, so don't worry. I think
There's a lot of stress, and like you mentioned, their mental health as well. On the serious point, like my mental health has been, battered and bruised over the business. But and I've lost a lot of friends along the way, and I've lost a few things along the way. But you know what, lost marbles too. But you know what, you keep going, because there's something still driving you. There's something driving you to keep going.
And what's the sort of long-term plan? Again, business guy. What's your 5-year plan, Christine, for this? Do you have, like, my 5-year plan? I don't have one.
Do you have one?
No, of course not. I don't even know what my 5-day plan is.
5-day plan is? 5-hour plan?
Yeah, not even.
I'm surprised you even remembered about today.
Yeah, 5 hours.
I was actually quite surprised you remembered about today. You actually messaged me first.
Yeah,
did you?
just to be sure, it's still okay. So.
Yeah. My 5-year, I wouldn't really call it 5-year, maybe 10-year. 10-year plan would be to let somebody else enjoy Brangies on the Hill, and I would like to be moving into, like, be able to mentor people. But now when I say mentor people, and I'm going to be obviously speaking to someone down the line here that is very much on the same views as me, I don't mean, like, bullshitting them.
Right. Do you think, let me just take a wee second. Do you think some mentors out there bullshit
100%. 100%.
Wow. In what regard, Christine, do you think they do?
Overcharge you and not overcharging you. So charging you all this money, and at the end of it telling you you're going to be a millionaire. And I know quite a few people have tried this, and at the end of it they're not no millionaires. You
know what I would say to people? Get up at 4 a.m. Get in a cold plunge.
5 o'clock club?
I'm up, but that's not through anything other than having a 5-year-old that gets up and comes in and wakes me. I think you need to just do that. But I think you need to have a cold plunge, then go for a sea swim.
Do you do that?
No, of course I don't. It's bullshit. No. I think that this is your yes, right, okay. That's the logic.
I got a bit lost.
Like, but the one thing I will say that I do is a thing that I like to do, and I saw a video of a guy, and it was at some sort of graduation ceremony, and he was saying his advice is, first thing to do is make your bed every day. That's one thing I do.
Do you?
Because he says, like, if you make your bed, that's the first chore of the day.
Right.
That's it, done. You've done one thing. You've started the day the right way.
Okay.
And he goes, and if you have a shit day, you're coming home to me a bed. Bingo. So that was.
So do you believe in the whole, like you asked me the question, so I'm going to ask you the question. Do you believe that mentors are?
I think a lot of if people, I don't think a lot of mentors mentor for a good reason. I don't think their actual hearts in trying to improve people's lives. I think they're trying to make a quick buck from impressionable people. And that's what I think a lot of mentors are. See, a lot of people who look for mentorship, in my opinion, and this is only my opinion, and there'll be people out there going, listen to him talking shit and all that. But a lot of people just need to kick up the arse, and a mentor tells them to maybe get their shit in order a bit. And when you get your shit in order a bit, life is a bit better and a bit easier.
I think I reached out to a mentor in the past, but it was because I needed support more than anything. I needed somebody to tell me.
See, that's the difference. I am thinking like a life coach, whereas you're like a business mentor.
Yeah.
There's probably a difference.
I would believe now, 5 years nearly down the line, and I'm not blowing my own trumpet here, but I would have a lot of contacts. Yeah. And people who genuinely will.
I was very Liam Neeson of you there. I know people.
I know. Do that again.
Yeah, I know people. Yeah.
No, but I know people that can help you genuinely. And I've also met a lot of people out there that are pure bullshitters that'll take your money and tell you they're going to do this for you and they do absolutely nothing. So I would like to be directing people, because again, at the start of the business, when I was so lost, I was literally demented. I had no help and support. I needed that somebody that was just telling me it was okay. And here I can direct you to this person and they'll be able to I had nobody.
Yeah.
This is awful. This is the worst experience of my life.
But you're over that hill, aren't you?
I'm over it, but I want to now give that back. I want to see somebody who wants to start up a business and goes, I need a Chris thing in my life. Do you think, could you see it? Can you see that?
I mean, well, if you've definitely enough passion for it there, so
I was getting fairy, wasn't it? Or was that kind of near jumping off?
I also think I could be a life coach.
You couldn't be a life coach?
I could.
Oh, I think you could as well.
But I'd be a spoofer, yeah.
Oh, girl, you would be the comedy scene. Yeah. Well, what would you be telling them, like, here, this time next week, you're going to be a millionaire?
No, I see all that millionaire stuff, BS. I think, like, just, if I can offer anyone any advice, just to be, just to work hard and make the effort in things, and you'll be grand. And there's always other options. Don't give up. It's all grand.
I'll be all okay.
I'll be my mentorship done in 5 minutes,
Oh, would that be it?
No, I mean, like, they wouldn't get a lot of business.
No.
But there's too many of them out there going, you're going to do this. Like, just having, like, friggin' flying in private jets is killing the environment. Guys, why are you doing a private jet? And then,
but it gives people false hope too, because they believe then that, oh my God, like, this is how they started and look how I can be if I just follow these and pay them all this money. But
you know what I look forward to doing? Sitting in peace. That's it, by myself sometimes.
Do you?
With the feet up. That does me. And then 5 minutes after that, I'm like, right, I'm bored. Let me go and stick a wash on here.
Do you do the washing and all?
Oh, I.
Yeah, that's not bad. To be
fair,
love David
wash.
does the washing too. That's not too bad.
I do the washing. I love. But this is the thing, because I work at nights, and then like I write stuff and do stuff during the day. I am in the house most of the time.
Yeah.
So I love the housework. I love a nice tidy house. I love it. All for it.
Yeah, well,
I like the way I like the packaging. But what I will say, it's very you're in support of the trans movement with the color flag. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Very inclusive. I like it. Yeah.
Pink and blues going on in there.
Oh wow. So we've got a caramel there. What's this?
Donna could have given you an extra two there. That's a bit pathetic, isn't it?
What's the pink one? This one.
So this is very popular. This is a raspberry ruffle mallow.
Yeah.
It has the mallow in between it. So it's, again, we like to be different, Dave. We don't want the same as everybody else. But you see there's a wee caramel in there, and then there's a caramel square. So just show the caramel square up there.
It's got a good mix. Let me just see. It's got...
Oh, look at that caramel, Dave.
No, the caramel does look good. It is the majority caramel there. I would put maybe another couple of millimeters of chocolate on that, Christine. Yeah, but I mean, listen, I know you've got a budget to...
Oh, I will have to
adhere to.
Exactly, yes.
So yeah, I'm just going to go and eat all of those.
Well, you can take the other. You can choose.
I will.
There might be nicer ones in there.
You know what? I'm going to take both boxes. I'm going to take one to my family and one to my comedian friends.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure.
I can't wait to see what the future holds for you.
Thank you very much. And you know what? I can't wait to see what I teach other business heads here from being here today.
Your mentoring business.
My mentorship.
We could go into business together. What do you think?
Yeah, well, you've a lot on your plate right now, and I have a lot of brownies to eat and a lot of jokes to do. Maybe down the line when I'm a life coach.
Down the line, we'll maybe see what we can do. Or if I could start up a business and you could come in under, and I could be the next,
Seth business.
I was putting myself up there again. I've got a very big head these days.
So what are you doing? Just put me into your business scheme? I like that.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, you can come into my, if you need a wee additional income coming in.
Yes.
No.
Well, yes, I will do that.
We're joking, Dave. You're yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, and
sure.
I'll hopefully see you at. I've got somebody I want to bring along to see one of your gigs.
If it's at Stalker,
he wants an autograph today, so if you wouldn't mind, after we could do a wee autograph session and
then
go for him.
Now.
I know, but listen, that's not really a job, is it? It's like, it's fun. It's fun.
It is an art, Christine.
It is an art.
It's an art. I'm like Seamus Heaney, all right? You don't say that to him for many reasons. Him being dead's one.
But also, a fun job. It's a fun job.
It is a fun job.
Yeah, well, enjoy, and I'll get along to see you soon. And thank you so much for coming on. And I hope I haven't offended you too much.
Oh, no, it's all good.
No. Thank you.